Great, wide, beautiful, wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
That was in one of my books at school. Great, wide, beautiful, wonderful world. Let me go back over this. I was speaking at a church in Atlanta, and that was my beginning. They put me in a high hotel, and I went to the hotel and looked out the window, and I recited that piece of poem. And I told them when I began my speech, speaking that Sunday morning, I told them that I looked out the window at Georgia, and then I recited that piece of poetry before I started my speaking. Great, wide, beautiful, wonderful world, with the wonderful water around you quiver, and the wonderful grass upon your breast, where you're beautifully dressed. The wonderful air is over me, and the wonderful wind is shaking the trees. It walks on the water, it whirls the mill, it talks to itself on top of the hill. You that are so great, and I'm so small, I hardly can think of your world at all. And yet when I said my prayers today, a whisper within me seemed to say, you're more than earth, you're such a dot, you can love and think, and the earth cannot. And I spoke on the subject, love.
What was life for you like as a child growing up?
Well, it was hard. It was hard because I didn't get a chance to get inside of school until I was 10. I had to work sweeping yards for people and make a quarter was as high as they went. But I brought every penny home and gave it to Mama. The work was on me. I was the smallest girl there. He had children. They was older, and Mama had children was older. And I was the littlest one left at home. So they looked like they worked me, and others had to work. They made more money. They made $3 a week. And I was just making a little 25 cents, keeping the babies for the white people, washing dishes after supper, sweeping yards. And I was 10 years old and wanted to go to school. I told her the story how I wanted to go to school so bad, but I didn't have the clothes. And the way I got there, this little friend of mine, she was around my age, but she was about in the 4th grade. And she told me, how you save your, say if you make a quarter, you save a dime out that quarter. Don't tell your mama you made a quarter, tell her you made 15 cents. And you hide that dime. And when you get so many dimes, so many nickels, until you get $1.13, that would be your money to go to school. And so when school starts, when you see all the children going to school, you just come on and go to school. No shoes, no clean dress. You just come on and go. But everywhere I saw a piece of poetry, I memorized all that. And then I would say it with expression. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win and think you can, it is almost a cinch you won't. Life battles don't always go to the strongest or fastest man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. And all of my classmates try to speak like me, you know. The village blacksmith, on the spreading chestnut tree, I learned all that. And every part where it was poetry, I learned it. And I would say it with such expression that made my classmate want to be like me. And I was the biggest one of them. That was a song that learned when I started public speaking, studying my speeches. And my favorite one was, I want to die working, still tackling things unfinished, tasks undone, clean to the end, swift may my race be run. No lag steps, no faltering, no shirking, let me die working. Let me fall forth still with an open mind, new secrets to unfold, new truths to find, my soul undimmed, no question blinking. Let me die aspiring, let me die working, let me die thinking. Give me a few friends to love me, to understand me, to know me for what I really am, and keep forever burning before my vagrant step the kindly light of hope. Give me a sight of eternal hill and unresting sea, and something beautiful the hands of man has made. Though age and infirmities may one day overtake me, and I come not within sight of the castles of my dream, but teach me still to be thankful for life and for olden memories that are good and sweet, and may the evening twilight find me gentle still. This is life at its best. I feels blue. I don't know what to do. Every woman in my fix is bound to feel blue too. I love my man better than I do myself. And if he don't love me, he don't love nobody else. And the old band just goes boom, boom, boom. But I never did sing the blues to the children. When we adults get together, you know, to have fun. That's when I was in these social clubs and had a good time with them, but I wouldn't dare let no children hear me sing the blues. But
how did it feel being in the Holy Land? What was that like?
I just couldn't say how you feel, but you feel like you want to grab at everything. Come up in Jerusalem, the first trip I took, I was baptized in Jordan, and I put on my long dress, and I put a lace scarf just across my head. And I was on my way out in the hotel to get on the bus, and there was a black fella. He went to screaming and hollering. He said, "He had a queen! He had a queen!" He thought I was a queen there. I said, "I'm not a queen." I tried to tell him, but I was getting ready to get on my bus. And the baptism in Jerusalem was something you will never forget. Little old preacher, Reverend Lindsay, he was from Atlanta, he baptized me. And when I went in the water, I was taller than he was. And he was in there and said his words and preaching, saying his words before he carried me under the water. And when he carried me under the water, I don't know nothing else, but they tell me that I went swimming up Jordan. So we was there in Jordan River. I don't know how to swim. So I went swimming up Jordan. And said a lot of the people that were with me had to come in the Jordan to get me. But people who know me well know I wasn't a college graduate, but they know I was a good speaker. And when they was going to have Dr. Martin Luther King here, they wanted the best speaker that they could get. So they wasn't looking for me. They was looking for the one that they knew had education and been to college and all like that. So they got Mr. Baker from another college. college, Eastern Star chapter, to speak. She called me. She said, they got me to speak on the program with Dr. Martin Luther King, and said they said to get the best that they have, because that's Dr. Martin Luther King's coming, and they want the best woman they can get to be on their program. And she said that, I know I can speak, but I can't beat you speaking. She said, now I'm going to recommend you and call them back and tell them I'm not coming. That's what she did. She called them back and told them if they didn't get their best, they wouldn't be done right. So she recommended me, and I spoke on the king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold, and she shall be brought before the king in raiments of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow after her, will come unto thee. They say, I tore it up. That's what they say.